Hello, professors. My name is Huang Huayue. I'm from Jingdezhen Vocational University of Art in China. My paper's title is Responsibility for Artificial Intelligence Generated Content Fabrication and Deception. Let me introduce it now. The research background with the use of techniques such as automated coding systems, convolutional network models, and generative adversarial networks, AI-generated content has become more disorienting. As a result, there have been a number of cases in the social sector where AI has been utilized to generate fake front-load content for front-load purposes. Recently, a front case occupied in Hong Kong, it is the front sister used artificial intelligence technology for camouflage its first found contact caused the company up to 200 million yuan of economic losses. Similar cases are now being reported in multiple locations. 2023 saw a 3,000% spike in deep AI-based frequency from a 1,000% increase in AI-based pushing emails. And apt groups with multiple national backgrounds have been found to have used AI to carry out sector attacks, also known as advanced persistent threats, advanced persistent series, etc. Is a stealthy and persistent process of computer interaction, usually orchestrated by certain individuals against specific target. It is usually commercially or politically motivated, directed against a specific organization or country, and requires a high degree of stakes over an extended period of time. It is not difficult to find that AI poses a serious threat in terms of network security, data privacy security, physical security, etc., and the dissemination of network information, citizens' personal privacy and property security are at great risk. Next is problem statement. There are still no clear legal provision on the determination of liability for counterfeiting of fraudulent content by artificial intelligence. Currently, the existing doctrine on the recent generation of artificial intelligence to force front-load content related to the determination of responsibility is also relatively vague, because artificial intelligence is not a fully conscious individual. Only a part of the autonomy is basic. Algorithm is only a decomposition of the input data after recombination and then output. So how to determine the authenticity of its content, and for the generation of the content of the tolerance rate should be stipulated as how much. These above issues are less discussed in the academic community, and there is a large gap whether artificial intelligence can be held responsible as an eligible legal subject after causing an infringement or accident. There is still a big difference in the doctrines of the current academic circles. In addition, after determining the subject of responsibility at different stages, it is not clear how the principle of arbitrage of responsibility should be applied to new problems, i.e., how the proportion of responsibility shared by each subject could be determined. Next is the methods. This paper used comparative methods, literature analysis, interdisciplinary field research, and jurisprudence analysis to clarify the legal responsibility of each subject by analyzing the reasons why AI generates forged and front-load content at different stages. Firstly, this paper adopted the literature analysis methods on the basis of the integration and classification of the views of the various directions, analyze the source and base of view advocated by the various doc teams, and makes further research on whether artificial intelligence can assume tort liability as a legal subject. determines the liability of each other subject and the calculation of the liability of each subject. Secondly, this paper also adopts the comparative method by searching for relevant literature and laws and regulations on the study of liability of artificial intelligence at home and abroad. Each analyzes the solutions and the measures adopted by different countries for the security problems caused by artificial intelligence and explores universal solutions for the liability problem of growing front-load content generated by artificial intelligence. This paper mainly refers to European Artificial Intelligence Act, the European Generation Data Protection Regulation, Russia's Generation Act, and China's Interim Measure for Administration of Generative Artificial Intelligence serves and the code of is of the new generation of artificial intelligence for comparative research. At the same time, this paper analyzed from the perspective of jurisprudence aim at applying the principle of responsibilities of China's civil law to the new problems arising in the field of artificial intelligence. The research involves mainly the principle of fault liability, this principle of no fault liability, the principle of presumption of fault liability, and the principle of fairness. In addition, this paper utilized the interdisciplinary research theory by finding relevant information in the field of computer in-depth understanding of the methods of detecting the fears of AI-generated content, the value chain of AI, and the deep learning system used in the pre-training. It scientifically and reasonably analyzed the reason for the generation of AI confluent and front-load content and accordingly divides the proportion of the responsibility of the relevant legal subjects to be shared. Next is analysis and discussion. In this section, the article is divided into the following 4 points for discussion. The first part is artificial intelligence should not be a fixed subject of law. The second part is divided into 2 sections. One is risks in the generation of counterfeit front-load content by artificial intelligence and the identification of the relevant responsible parties. Another is principles of attribution of liability to artificial intelligence related subjects in the bill. Third part is specific proportion sharing of responsibility among the subjects involved, the confronting of fraudulent generated content by artificial intelligence. In the first part of the article referenced the different views on artificial intelligence in the academic world, mainly the automated, negative, and compromised views. This study analyzed from the perspective of jurisprudence and argues that artificial intelligence should not be a suitable legal subject. The conclusion is reached by arguing that artificial intelligence is less independent and comparing with the existing illegally subjects in the Chinese Civil Code. In the second part, by the international scientists' report on the safety of advanced AI, it can be seen that it is the algorithmic technological risk, the failure risk, and the molecules use risk that mainly affect the final content generated by AI. Then, by comparing the research on this issue in different countries, it identifies the specific liability subjects involved in the damage consequence of AI converting fronts. The third part utilized the principles of attribution of responsibility under Chinese tort law as the base and standards for determining the civil liability of the perpetrator for infringement, which is reflected the fact that the principle of presumption of fault and the principle of no fault liability are mainly applied to the result of damage caused by algorithmic technology risk and folly risk, and the principle of fault is mainly applied to the risk of malicious use. The principle of fairness is used to deal with cases when a cause relationship can be identified. Then is a conclusion. This study concludes that in the three types of situations where the cause of AI fluency from the generation can be identified, the damage outcome caused by economic technologies risk should be 60% of the responsibility of the base model provider, 10% of the responsibility for system deployers, and the 30% share the responsibility of the information black box as first measure is not be borne. In the case failure risk, the base model providers shall be 40% of the responsibility, while the system model providers shall be 60% of the responsibility. The case of malicious use risk, 80% of the liability should be borne with users, while the AI-based model providers and the system deployers each bear 10% of the liability if it is not possible to identify the cause relationship between the responsibility parties and the results of the damaging on the basis of responsibility. The principle of fairness in use to provide greater protection for the user's community and avoid the frequent occurrence of fraudulent cases of AI counterfeiting. The AI-based model provider and the system deployers are each required to bear a 35% share of the responsibility, and the users bear the remaining 30% of the responsibility. That's all. Thank you very much.